I want to talk about sense and reference in the area of the phrasal and sentential semantics study. In today's talk, we are going to look at those concepts. They are reference, referent, variable reference, constant reference, co-referential, referring expression, and sense. First of all, let's look at the term reference. The concept of the term reference in the phrasal and sentential semantics, it is a relationship between the language and the object of the world. In this illustration, the reference plays a role of a relationship, or rather a connection between the speech of the linguistic language, which is called the term of referring expression. We'll get back to this term later. And objects in the real world, which is called the term of referent. We also get back to this term later. So the reference plays a role that is connecting the referring speech to the real world objects. Let's look at the term referent. The concept of the term referent in the phrasal and sentential semantics, it is the entity in the real or conceptual world designated by an expression that a person is talking about. So to put it simply, the term referent refers to the real objects that are existing in the world that we can referring to or pointing to. Like those three pictures, this cot, that tree, those dolls, they are real objects in the real world. Let's look at variable reference. The concept of the term variable reference in the phrasal and sentential semantics, it is the same expression refers to different objects. Those are the words that are referring to variable reference. In the group of passive or personal pronouns, the phrase my car has variable reference. The word car can be referred to different cars. When the passive pronouns my is spoken by different speakers, who are the possessors of the cars, I can say this is my car. My friend can also say this is my car, and other people can say the same phrase, my car, as well. The second phrase, I voted, has a variable reference. The personal pronoun I can refer to different people when it is spoken by different speakers. I can say I voted, other people can say I voted as well. So the personal pronoun I refers to the speakers who are saying this phrase. In the group of demonstrative pronouns, the phrase that bender has a variable reference. Because one person can point to different benders, or different people can point to different benders. So it has variable reference. The second phrase, this chandelier, has variable reference because one person can point to different chandeliers, or many people can point to different chandeliers. So this phrase, this chandelier, has a variable reference. In the group of time and place of variable reference, the phrase "the Dean of English Philology in 2022" has variable reference, because in the year 2022, in the position of the Dean of English Philology, there can be replaced by other personnel in the position of the Dean of English Philology. So it has variable reference. The second phrase, the Dean of English Philology in Warsaw University, has variable reference. In Warsaw University, the position of the Dean of English Philology can be a list of personnel in this position. So the phrase "the Dean of English Philology in Warsaw University" has variable reference, because the word dean in this situation can refer to different people. In the group of articles of variable reference, the phrase "the situation" has variable reference, because it can refer to all sorts of situations. So it has variable reference. The second phrase, "a thought," has variable reference because it can refer to all sorts of thoughts. Let's look at the term constant reference. The concept of the term constant reference in the phrasal and sentential semantics, it is an expression that is always referring to the same thing, regardless context and speakers. Those are the words that are referring to constant reference. In the group of proper names of people, countries, or organizations, those names are like Albert Einstein, George Washington, Jesus Christ, Poland, USA, Soviet Union, Laos, Alaska, NATO. So when those names are spoken by the speaker or to the listener, everybody can instantly refer to the same thing in their mind, no matter where they're speaking, who are speaking, and when they are speaking. In the group of unique objects of constant reference, those objects are like Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, Mercury, Himalaya, Black Sea, Pyramid, Terracotta Army. So when those objects are spoken by the speaker or to the listener, everybody has the same constant referring object in their mind, no matter who's speaking, when they are speaking, and where they are speaking. Let's look at the term co-referential. The concept of the term co-referential in the phrasal and sentential semantics, it is the different expressions refer to the same object. In this illustration, the morning star, the evening star, and the Venus, they are all referred to the same planet, the Venus. So we can see that the morning star, the evening star, and the Venus, they are having a co-referential relationship. Let's look at the term referring expression. The concept of the term referring expression in the phrasal and sentential semantics, it is any expression used in an utterance to refer to something or someone particular on the part of the speaker. That is, speakers tend to provide enough information for the listener to identify the referent. To put it straightforward, the term referring expression is that the speaking language referring to the object. Let's look at some types of referring expression. In the group of passive pronouns, the sentence "This is my pen" is referring expression. It can only be the case when it is in the condition that both speakers and listeners know where the pen is when the speaker speaks. In the second group of demonstrative pronouns, the phrase "this book" has referring expression. It can only be the case when it is in the condition that both speakers and listeners can clearly know where the book is when the speaker speaks. In the group of proper names, the sentence "Tom's here" has referring expression. It can only be the case when it is in the condition that both speakers and listeners know where Tom is when speaker speaks. In the group of personal pronouns, the sentence "she's eating" has referring expression. It can only be the case when it is in the condition that both speaker and listeners know where this person is when the speaker speaks. Let's look at sense. The concept of the term sense in the phrasal and syntactical semantics, it is the relationship of a word's meaning that relates with others, and it refers to the internal, inherent meaning of a word or phrase within a language system. Let's look at those two words, spinster and bachelor. By definition, the word spinster defines as an unmarried woman of gentle family, an unmarried woman and especially one past the common age for marrying, a woman who seems unlikely to marry, a woman whose occupation is to spin. And the definition of the word bachelor defines as a young knight who follows the banner of another, a person who has received a degree from a college, university, or professional school, usually after 4 years of study. An unmarried man, a male animal, such as fossil, without a mate during breeding time. So the point of bringing up those two words, because firstly, those two words can be defined lexically. That means they have sense. Also, those two words have common meaning. That is, both the word spinster and bachelor refers to unmarried person. In terms of the term sense, we also need to know that every expression has meaning, has sense, but not every expression has meaning, has reference. In the first sentence, the person in Chesterfield is my uncle. So the phrase my uncle, first of all, it has meaning. It can be defined lexically, so it has sense. Secondly, it can be referred by someone else. So the phrase my uncle has sense and reference. In the second example, those words are like and, if, or, nice, happy, smile. Those words, they have meaning. That is, they all have sense. But they don't have reference. They don't have the real objects that they can refer to in the world. Alright, that's it.